I'll take the Lombardi over that dumbass record any day. All that saying, now we go to the man, the myth, the legend, the co-host of Birds 365, Big Z, Zander Krause. How you doing, brother?
What's up, Big Sills? How you doing, brother?
All good. Hey, man, I thought maybe what I would do is, I'll start doing a podcast here with Seth, so we'll go back and forth. I'll be separate from you, though, and my gig here, who pays me, just me and him will go do it and just start talking shit on everybody, man. I mean, I don't get it, man. He talks about accountability, and I'm talking Nick here. And you know what? Some people may think it's a small thing, but the small things have destroyed many things in that building, and it shows to be large things in the end. I mean, first and foremost, your takeaway with Nick Sirianni defending Slay, saying, "Hey, that wasn't me, that was them." And on top of that, him doing a podcast with Michael Parsons. You got a problem with all that?
Well, I'm torn. What do I have a bigger problem with? You getting destroyed by Baker Mayfield and going on Twitter and tweeting out your career stats, or the next day going on a podcast with a dude who just shat on your teammate who's on the same side of the ball as you, and then you go on there on his podcast and start chuckling. I brought this up with John this morning. He's like, who gives a shit what they do? Who cares about Slay? He likes everybody. He's friendly with everybody. And I think there's a part of this that, and I'm not criticizing you older fans, but I want to tell you something that people are missing about modern players, right? We talk about these old school coaches and how a modern player is. You know what else modern players give a shit about? Social media, perception on the internet. CJ Gardner-Johnson has a side business where he does streaming and posting and all sorts of, and Darius Slay is on a teammate's podcast laughing about him. That's going to fracture the line. Forget about Slay going on with Michael Parsons. And honestly, Slay didn't even say anything wrong. He said, if you talk shit, you got to back it up. I don't disagree with that. But CJ Gardner-Johnson already posted something on his Instagram. I forget what it said, damn or something. These players care about this stuff, man. If you're a leader of a football team, we talk about how coaches have to adapt to the modern player, and the league is adapting to the modern player. Darius Slay's got to read the room. You're talking about a dude who cares about social percent. Whether he's right or wrong for it is beside the point. You're going to fracture your locker room week 4 going into the bye week. CJ Gardner-Johnson already posted up something about it. So,
but again, Xander, okay. I get making the transition into that shit. I'm talking more about this. I mean, Nick and everyone talk about the fans of Philly, talking about representing your city. Don't talk to me about representing your city when you don't give a shit about it then, and try to come off telling me that you care about the fan base.
No, he doesn't.
And look, I said it. These guys today, you're making transitions into doing. I don't have a problem with any of that. But when the organization is trying to tell me some bullshit about how you care about the fans' perception, they sell tickets on the Cowboys. They raise tickets for Cowboys and Eagles. And then you're telling me, hey, it really doesn't matter.
No, you're right. You're right. But look, this is what I'm pushing back on. Tony, you're right about this, but that's not my point, Tony. You're right. Having social media doesn't do shit for these guys. But the dudes who care about it, you still have to make your locker room a cohesive unit. You have to play like a team in order to win like a team. If you're gonna put outcast one of your players on the internet when he cares about, I'm not saying that's what helps you win games, but being one unit does help you win games. Slay doing that fractures a player, and that's going to leak into on-field play. This is the modern game, Tony. Go look at all the college guys coming up into the league in the next couple of years. Half of them are multimillionaires from making posts on social media. They care about their check just like everybody else. So it's a big thing in today's world, and I don't think I think a lot of older commentators, they're all right. I think you're correct on it, but you're missing that part of it as well, where CJ Gardner-Johnson's like, yo, dude, fuck you. That's the mentality he's going to have. And that's a bad, forget what you think of Slay going on. That's a bad move as a leader of a team, a guy that wears a C on his chest to outcast a player. By the way, a player who struggled early in the year right now, a big talker who has struggled immensely in the first
called
4
him
games.
out today.
Yeah, Vic called him. I mean, you got to play into that shit, man. You're a leader. You're bigger than yourself. You are not just playing for Darius Slay. You're not even just playing for the Eagle. You're playing for the dudes in the locker room that look to you as a captain. Then you go and burn one of them. What's that? What does that do for CJ? And then what does that do for every other dude on the defense who looks at Slay as a leader?
And it alienates.
That dude have my back.
It alienates the player then with the coordinator.
It's a total alienation of your players. And as a captain, you got to read the room on that. And I thought that was extremely stupid. Extremely stupid.
I mean, how many captains do they have?
They got like 6 or 7. I don't know. They're all voted on by the team. It's a team. And because I brought it up to John, I'm like, and he's like, the team voted Slay a captain. And I'm like, yeah, well, maybe the team doesn't know best. Maybe that's why you need a leader in the room.
Right.
Sometimes leaders have to do things that not everybody agrees with, but they do it for the greater good without the emotional people seeing it. It's like a charity fest.
But that's how they run their organization, by committee.
But that shows you why Slay's the type of leader he is. Why is Slay a captain? Because he's a good leader, or because he makes buddy with everybody he talks to?
I have no idea, because
he's not a good leader.
He's a shitty teammate.
Slay has never proven to be a good leader. That's why he was never a captain before he got to Philly in his 8-year career before he got here. He's not a leader, and he's showing that he's not a leader by his actions. And you can, I get the people who are like, who cares what he does? Go on the field and play. You're right, but that ain't a leader.
He's a captain, though.
That's what I'm saying. I would go as far as to say he should be stripped of his say. And that's how you send a message, right? Nick Sirianni goes up there and he's like, oh, who cares? Dude, nobody in this whole organization, Sills, is so soft.
Yes.
From top to bottom. Nobody wants to put their foot down on anything.
They tell you about accountability, and then you hear Vic Fangio say that Bryce Huff is getting better and he's improving. And you're like, nobody in their right mind thinks that. Nobody in their right mind thinks that.
The whole organization is so I don't even recognize it. It's so soft.
Yes.
No coaches call anything out. No team captains, things go wrong, and it's just like rah this, rah that. Chuckles with Micah Parsons and career stats posted to Twitter. Let's make Jake Elliott a captain because he's a solid kicker. Nobody wants accountability. Nobody wants a real leader. And I think it was actually Brian. He drops a lot of super chats. I think it was actually Brian on the post game show when I was talking with the people, and he put in a super chat about the leaders on this team, and there's no real alpha dog. And I kind of pushed back, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I don't see an alpha, but the more I'm thinking about it, who's up there? Look, leaders are polarizing figures because many people don't like what a leader says. Even when it's for the greater good, most people that are being led by a leader don't understand that until you get to the end. That's why a leader is important. And we don't have it. It's all just like this collective rah.
Let me ask you,
we're working for our standard, and we're working.
Zander, how many leaders?
But this is why we won 3 out of our last 13 games or whatever it is, and there's been no correction. You keep saying, why does this look like last year? Because it does. Nobody has addressed the issues head on. No leader in the room saying, yo, man, we fucking sucked at this. Yo, dude, we got to be better in this area. None of it.
How many leaders did you have on the 2017 team, do you think?
Oh, you had a lot of leaders on that football team. Nick Foles was a leader, and he didn't start until, week 13 or 14?
Long.
He became a leader instantly. Chris Long was a phenomenal leader. Even LeGarrette Blount was a leader on that team. Alshon Jeffrey Alshon Jeffrey,
left tackle,
a perfect example of the alpha. He's like that subtle dude that doesn't give a fuck, And he went to that Super Bowl. That's obviously that famous Super Bowl press conference he had was tremendous. But that team had that mentality. They didn't give a shit about outside noise. They cared about standing up for one another, and that's why they wrote a backup quarterback to the Super Bowl. This team could never do that ever.
They have none of that kind of leadership.
Couldn't even sniff that. So
That's right. that 17 team would blow this team off the field.
Yeah, but you and the bigger point about the leadership on that team is you don't rally behind a backup quarterback and march your way to the Super Bowl and beat Goliath and Brady and Belichick.
And then allow him to make the craziest decision in the history of the franchise.
That's right. I missed the biggest leader on that team, by the way. I missed the biggest leader on that team, Kyle. Malcolm Jenkins was a massive leader on that. He was the closest thing we've ever had since Brian Dawkins. And Brian Dawkins was early. I'm obviously a younger fan, but Malcolm Jenkins was the epitome of a leader on a football team. And we have none of Jason Peters, another good one. Abe, shout out to Jason Peters. He just got signed again today. Sills, 21st year in the league. Gotta love it. But.
Go. Hey, by the way, hit the like button here. We really appreciate this. Zander, I'm going to ask you maybe one of the toughest questions that, I couldn't believe that somebody on WIP actually confronted Nick and asked him about his job security. I'll get to that here in a minute, but I want to ask you about this. Do you think the Eagles would ever contemplate benching Hurts?
Not at this point. No.
I didn't say what point. I said, do you think they would contemplate benching him this year at any time this season?
Coming off the conversation we just had about how soft this team is, I don't see it, Sills. I really don't. I think this dude could be flat out playing like the worst quarterback in the league. Not that he is right now. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying for the sake of the scenario, if he was, I don't even know if they would do it then. I really don't, because it would be who would it be an embarrassment on? Jalen, Howie, and Jeffrey. They're not going to do that, dude. They're not going to do that. I don't see that happening. And we just talked about the problems. You think this team would rally around a backup? They can't even rally. They can't even rally around the best group of starters they've ever had.
They can't even rally around backup receivers. How are they going to rally around a backup quarterback?
You're right. This is one of those bigger problems that, people dispute it and say it doesn't matter until it matters so much.
Yep.
The team's never going to overcome it. Now listen, I will say this. We're 2-2. We're 4 games into this thing. We have 13 games to go. I'm not out on this team by any stretch of the imagination.
A lot left.
But there's a lot of football left. But some of these problems that you see coming up, just like, why? Like, why are we as grown, professionals and a team that the city is counting on? Why is this even happening? Like, why are we sitting here Tuesday after a 2-2, after a brutal loss to the Bucs, talking about Darius Slay on a podcast and tweeting out stats? That's so petty. That's so below a team that operates like a championship organization. We have really lost it. So whatever gold standard, Lurie was talking about after Doug won, that is so long gone. It hurts to acknowledge.
We have over 1,000 people in all the social media platforms right now. Guys, please do me a favor and hit the like button here. So remember when I asked you the question, you thought maybe that this was one of those mundane questions from Big Sills here. And I think a lot of people thought this. I asked people the entire offseason, do you think the 23 issues have been addressed? And everyone pretty much verbatim came on and said, yeah, I think they've all been addressed. Isn't it funny when you see adversity hit? This team cannot handle adversity. They're front runners. When things are going great, they're 10-1, everybody's happy. When situations have to be addressed and things have to be talked about, they hide from it. They won't address the turnovers with Hurts. They won't address his pocket presence. They won't address the lack of talent on defense. And the quick go-to is it's coaching. That's the quick go-to. No, this is player performance, like John McMullen says, and this is player staff building. This is staff building and roster building. It comes down to 2 people, the owner and the GM, on putting the product out there on the field. Zander, you and your dad are responsible for everything at JAKIB Sports, correct?
Yeah.
It comes to you. This is your responsibility. It's not just about the host, or it's not about the people it's if you don't think it's going to resonate and move the needle, that's on you. That's not on me. I'm doing the best I can. These guys are doing the best they can. They're not good enough. They're not good enough coaches, and they're not good enough players that they put on the team. Why is that so fucking hard to address in a meeting when you have the head coach Or you have a coordinator, you go, hey, Vic, it's one thing to draw up a picture. It's another thing to try to make it into a Picasso. Not everybody is a Picasso. Just because you make it look like one doesn't make it one. You have to have the artist to make it. I get it. But you also have to have the talent to make it look like that. The Eagles don't have it. They hide from that. It's covering for Howie everywhere. You're telling me Bryce Huff is good? Come on, Vic. Do you really have to blow Howie that much?
So do you think any of this is a want to problem? Like, we could sit here and say the players aren't good enough, or Howie hasn't. Do they want it bad enough?
No.
Does Jalen Carter wake up with his fucking blood boiling to be the greatest defensive tackle in the history of the game? I don't think that used to be a badge of honor to be like that in any profession, let alone sports. In anything.
You sound old. That's not the kid. That's not the kid today.
It's now. But you know what the badge of honor is now is, I need to unwind. Football is not my whole world. That's the new badge of honor.
How many times do you hear that coming out of college from people? Even Myles Garrett. Football's not my number one priority. I mean, look at Micah Parsons. You really think football is his top priority?
Oh, he doesn't.
Micah Parsons has multiple priorities right now.
That's why I've never been one of the people that call for him to come to the Eagles. Dude, I want some old school guys, man. Like, who one of my favorite dudes who got drafted in recent years is, and I haven't followed his career that closely just because I work so much, on the Eagles and stuff, is George Pickens. Like, that dude is just like an in-your-face, fuck you, I'm better than you. That's the type of dude I love. Dude, if this is football, guys, we're talking about the pinnacle athletes in our country clashing heads. You need some beasts out there. You can't have dudes that are, soft as Charmin or who are making buddy with the enemy. That's why we play soft, because that's our mentality going into it. I'd love to get some players like that, dude. We need some old school football back. Old school players back. Let's get
by the way, Sox, we're going to get to all the super chats at the end of the conversation, so don't worry. Nobody's super chat will be missed here. It's totally true, man. I mean, I'm listening to these coordinators talking, and here was my problem with Kellen. Was asked a question about the strip sack. Hurts' pocket presence. Somebody brought it up and asked a really good pointed question. You know what he said? Well, we got to scheme up the play better. Scheme up the play? No, he's got to have a better feel for it, man.
Yeah, and I'll go right to the same point on Jalen, because I'm not even going to criticize Jalen here. Is Jalen being coached? Jalen came into the league. One of the first things he said was, I like to be coached hard.
Oh, no way.
I get the impression that Jalen Hurts would walk off the field and benefit from someone saying, what the hell was that? What are you thinking?
Can I tell you where he'd win? Pittsburgh.
I don't think they do that at all with him. And that's part of the reason maybe he's not, developing like we thought he would.
He'd win in Pittsburgh. I'll tell you why. Because they kicked the shit out of Ben Roethlisberger in Pittsburgh. They Ben started that diva kind of attitude. And how many times did Bill Cowher or Mike Tomlin go, it's Ben being Ben. He needs to toughen up. And that kind of conversation. Instead, they're enablers.
Yeah, they're all enablers. The whole organization is enablers from the top to the bottom. I mean, Jeffrey Lurie, people write about Jeffrey Lurie in this city. People talk about Jeffrey Lurie like he's the greatest thing to ever happen to Philadelphia. Why? We Eagles fans, who do we criticize more than any other owner in the league? Jerry Jones. How many Super Bowl rings does Jerry Jones have? And I don't give a shit when they were. How many Super Bowl rings has Jeffrey Lurie won compared to Jerry Jones? Would you trade 3 Super Bowl? How many rings does Jerry have? 3? 3 rings. We got 1. Luckily, because Doug Peterson knew how to round up a group of players.
Well, just so
why do people? I don't understand the love.
Just to give you context, Jerry Jones won more Super Bowls in the time that he's owned the team since 1989 than what those guys, Tex Schramm, Tom Landry, and also Bum Bright, and also Clint Murchison, when they owned the Cowboys for 30 years. He has won more Super Bowls than those guys did. They won 2. He's won 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, and it's a representation of, the soft organization has bled all the way down, not only to the players, but I even think some fans. Where we're now fine with like being mediocre or just being a competent franchise that wins some games every year and
We're
compete
14-3.
the NFC, right? I mean that there. I don't know. I don't buy that. Like John tells me all the time how great of an owner Jeffrey Lurie is, and I get it. We had some shitty owners in the past in Philly, but why do we not strive for more? We don't, and nobody holds anybody accountable. Nobody holds the owner accountable. Nobody holds Howie accountable. The dude's had more draft misses. Now, granted, Howie's corrected a lot, but still, he's really never been held to the fire. I guess he got brushed to the broom closet.
But to Jeff Kerr's point, he doesn't build consistent championship. He builds consistent winners, but he doesn't build consistent championship teams. You can't keep having revolving coordinator jobs and revolving defensive football players and think year to year you're going to be in the same. Look at Kansas City, for instance. Kansas City has got a what window now? The quarterback extends it to probably 6 years? They got a 6-year window probably to try to win another couple Super Bowls because of the defense and the coaches that they have. If that were Philadelphia, it would be up and down and spotty. Why? Coordinator changes, defense, they don't believe in spending money. And you know what number one thing they don't do? They don't hit on defensive draft choices. Kansas City does.
It's true.
I mean,
it's true. And I also think you're not getting the most out of the defensive draft choices you are making. And part of that is, I guess, the modern, game that we're in. But I do wonder, if you had a dude who was pushing Jalen Carter to be great every single day, how good could that dude be? Now maybe some of that is internal and you can't coach it into him, but it does seem like everything is just so soft that, you're not getting everything out of them.
This little era right now of football, we'll go from 21 until right now.
Yeah, the Hurts era. That's what this is. We're in the Hurts era right now.
Do you think this Hurts era is better than the McNabb era?
Well, McNabb era was very early for me in my life, remember? Okay. So I know obviously all the stories, but I didn't live it the same way I'm living this now, I remember the Wentz era and the Vic era. I remember those. I remember McNabb. I remember being a young kid at the 2004 Super Bowl at the party watching New England beat us. I remember that like it was yesterday, but I was also a young dude. It'd be tough to say that though. McNabb was, I know McNabb never got us over the top, but
went to five straight NFC title games.
You know what bothers me about McNabb? The puke story. You know what it reminds me of, Sills? It reminds me of Nick Sirianni on the Super Bowl night or day when they panned to him during the national anthem, and it's still a meme. It's one of our damn emojis, and he's like bawling his eyes out, and everybody online is like, "Oh, how great is that?" Nick showing emotion. I'm like, dude, you got a fucking game to coach. Get your shit together, Nick. We got a game to play.
Wait. Let me ask you this. So, like, if you were getting ready to go into battle and you were going to storm the beaches at Normandy, would you want your general crying going into battle?
Yeah. Oh, good. Look, my general, he's showing emotion. Lovely. That's great. You guys got a good general there.
Hey, General Eisenhower's crying before he storms the beaches at Normandy. I don't know, man.
Look at Emrayes. I love you, brother. He says Nick is our fearless leader. Emrayes, you can follow Nick in the battle, brother. I'm going to choose somebody else. I think this could all be fixed. And honestly, I don't even think you'd have to separate I don't even think you'd have to remove Howie if you got a coach that didn't take fucking orders. Like if you got a Bill Belichick, a dude Howie, just do personnel. You're not telling me what to do. Just do personnel.
Stop. Elliot Spitzer Shore Poly Park said today that Nick Sirianni is a better option at head coach in Philly than Bill Belichick would be. Do you agree with that?
No. Why would I agree with that?
Hey, you even laughed when you said no.
Well, come on. What delusion is he living in? I get he's a mouthpiece for the Eagles, but I respect Elliot because he knows how to play the media game and he knows how to get a lot of clicks. So, as a dude who obviously, works in that same industry, I can respect that about him. But
like a buffoon?
That's a brutal take. Well,
he says that There was a guy, and I was reading Crossing Broad. There was a guy that said, I'd rather ask Siri than Sirianni what I should do on 3rd and 3.
Yeah, I saw that go viral. Some dude in his car.
I'm like, that's one of the greatest goofs I've ever heard. I'd rather ask Siri than Sirianni on what to do on 3rd and 3. Holy shit. Let me ask you this one now.
We got a bunch of yes men in this organization, Sills. And I think all it would take would be one dude. If you imagine Bill here, imagine what Bill would do for Jalen. You know, and that's why you brought it up earlier.
Brady.
You brought it up earlier with the Brady on the broadcast. He's talking about, yeah, I didn't go to work to have fucking fun. I was going to win. Is that fun? Winning championships isn't fun when you're doing it. It's hard work.
You have fun after.
Exactly. It's none of that exists anymore. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't even work with the modern player. I'm not sure.
I heard Howard even say this. He goes, yeah, you look at that dynasty that they had in New England, and it just wasn't fun. You look at what things are going on today in Kansas City, and I'm like this. So 6 Super Bowls, 9 appearances, constant winning. I don't know how you look at that and go, well, that's a horrible experience. I mean, are you crazy, dude? Are you crazy saying, well, that wasn't, dude, I'll tell you what, when you have 6 rings on your, you have to put the other ring on your finger, your other hand, I mean. Zander, that doesn't even make sense when you're talking shit like that. It just doesn't. All right. Has the honeymoon for Jalen Hurts finally ended?
Oh, that's long gone. That honeymoon is long gone. And I know a lot of people are still in on Hurts. I'm in on Hurts because he's going to be here for next few years at least. So buckle in, everybody, and enjoy the ride. Let's hope this guy develops. So when I'm critical of, the coaching staff, that's it. That's why, right? We want this guy to develop. I think Jalen Hurts would thrive, actually. I think he would get better than you would believe. And I mean you, Big Sills, if he had a coach like Bill Belichick or a coach that just challenged him.
Or how about
I think Jalen would like that. He would welcome that.
How about if a coach that they stayed out of the way?
Nick is just too buddy. He's too yes man about everything. I wonder how much they challenge her. It's like he gave him a pass for the fumble the other day. And I'm like, really?
You know how they give him a pass? Coaching. Oh, we got to coach better.
Yeah. Well,
got to coach better. He's got to play better.
I don't know. Maybe they're doing it behind closed doors, but it's tough for me to. It's tough.
Let me tell you who Jalen Hurts is right now. He's a chick you're married to. You fucking wake up and hate, and she's gonna be in your house for the next 3 years, and you can't do dick about it. You see her, she don't make you dinner. She don't do shit for you. She pisses all over you. She abuses you in public, and you fucking hate her, and you want out. And I can't do nothing about it.
I don't feel like that yet. Holy mackerel. Holy shit. You just painted a miserable picture. MG ad with
prenup hurts.
Yeah.
Prenup hurts, baby. Are we being unfair?
Wait, let me answer your question. Is the honeymoon over? You have a good pulse on this city. You've been getting a lot of views for many years. Do you feel the honeymoon is over?
Absolutely. I think they now are here. I think they're coming to grips with it now.
Well, it's a tough thing to come to grips with. Remember, this team bleeds. This city bleeds green. We really do. We care about this team.
The biggest diehard Eagle fans are now pausing. Okay,
it's tough to do because it makes you come to the realization maybe we're not going to be.
Did you pause on Wentz when the decision?
Everybody did. There's still people who are in denial about when, and I understand why. Yeah. I understand why, but
right. Hey, Zander, when that whole thing with Wentz, after you saw what he did and how great he was, all of a sudden you started to see it. Everyone was like, how could I be so fucking wrong?
Yeah.
I can't believe that's what you're going through now. You're going through the 3 stages of grief now. Okay. You're going through grief right now. And you're coming to
what are the stages of grief?
Pissed off.
Let's look.
It's like
first it's denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance.
Where are you? Say those
I
again.
am
Wait a
moving
minute. Say
into
those again. Give me the first one.
I am denial. I'm
Hold
past
on.
that. I'm well past
Denial.
denial.
Go ahead.
Anger.
Um.
I'm past that. I'm past 3 too.
Okay. Go
I'm
ahead.
moving into the depression phase.
Depression.
Now, third is bargaining, which I guess is trying to reason, which I think many people are at that
Yep.
phase where it's like, well, we can still win with
This
them.
is a
And,
great
maybe we still got it if we
What's the
get the
last
right
one?
things. And
Acceptance.
acceptance and, depression and
Yeah,
acceptance.
Eagle fans are not at acceptance yet. They're angry. They're between
There they are.
angry.
Look, there they are on the screen.
They're between angry and they're between depression. They're in those right there. They're trying to bargain. Maybe, well, if we get our players back, and this is here, watch this. Well, I'm pissed off he's not playing well. Here's bargaining. Well, when we get AJ back and Devontae back and Lane back, he'll be better.
No, you know what else bargaining is? Well, we went to the Super Bowl in 22. I know we can do it. I was there I was there maybe in preseason, when I'm saying he's going to be the MVP of turnovers right now, everybody. That's where we're at. It's a tough realization. And look, I've never been a Hurts hater. I've always believed in him, but right now it doesn't look good. It doesn't look like he's going to elevate the team, out of the and to further it. It's not even as much on Jalen as that. I don't think this organization is set up to get the most out of Jalen Hurts.
No, they're not coaching him right. This is the best senior take of all time. Nick Sirianni hands out game balls after losses.
Senor, you're right about that for sure.
That's hilarious. He hands out game balls after losses here. I've asked you this question 2 weeks in a row.
Uh-oh.
I'll ask you again.
Uh-oh.
Do you think Hurts turns this around?
Turns. Be more specific. Turns what around?
No. You're not
talking about a playoff run. You're talking about maybe winning the NFC.
He's learning how to be Big Sills really good because he's trying to make my question into his question, making me answer my own
because
question.
you got to turn what around? Do I think he can turn it around that he's not the worst quarterback in the NFL? Yeah, I think he can turn that around. But do I think he can turn around becoming a Super Bowl contender this year? No.
So you don't think the Eagles now are a Super Bowl contender?
Right. Do they look like a Super Bowl contender to you, Sills?
No, they never did.
You always say this, Sills. We do shows every day. Some dude was like, "Oh, it's 4 games. You're overreacting." I'm like, I'm not overreacting. I'm reacting as the games happen. I can only call it how I see it right now. Through 4 games, this team is nowhere near a Super. This team is right now. This team is barely a playoff team. It's barely a playoff team. You show up one week, you don't show up another week. Right now, you're barely a playoff team.
Depression.
Is that what that's called, Sills? Is that what that feeling is right now, Sills?
Hey, here we go. Here, I got another one here for you. Is Kellen Moore the right OC?
Well, maybe if you had the right head coach, or maybe if you had, I keep thinking about this because I brought this up to you yesterday, and the more I said it, the more I'm thinking about it. Is it Kellen Moore? Because everybody's like, oh, this Kellen Moore offense looks the same as Nick Sirianni.
It's the
I'm like, oh, it looked the same with Brian Johnson too.
It's the
common denominator among all. I'm skipping, because I saw a tweet that went viral. I think it was actually from Tone. He used to be with JAKIB, and he tweeted out, Brian Johnson was the scapegoat, for Nick Sirianni's crimes against Philadelphia. I think I've skipped that. I think I've skipped, is it Nick? And I'm on to, is this just the quarterback's limitations? And every coordinator that comes here is trying to mold it around them. Only one did it successfully. They have no interest in doing it that way for a long time. And this is what we got. Nick Sirianni's not calling the offense this year. It looks a lot like his offense.
Folks.
But is that Kellen or is that Jalen?
Folks.
I don't know. I'm just asking an honest question. I'm not even trying to pick on the dude. I'm asking an honest question.
I'm getting it. Folks, I've been telling you since 2022. It doesn't matter what coach you're doing. Jalen Hurts is electric when he's running and he's throwing the ball. when you are making him into what you're trying to now with these new coordinators, he's below average. You paid him for that electric style of play. And for whatever reason, they're trying to coach that out of him. They're not even remotely coaching that. They're not even remotely wanting him to be anything near that. He's electric. You know, the one thing they do in Baltimore that's different than they do in Philadelphia? They at least try to stay to that formula that what makes Lamar Jackson spectacular. They're not doing that here. Dude, I told you.
I talked about this with Bob Brown. Bob's in there, yeah.
They're coaching the greatness out of Hurts.
Well, here's my pushback. Because, Bob, I went back and re-listened to our segment. I thought you were tremendous in that, Bob, by the way. We got a couple future media stars, baby.
Like it.
Coming up in their channel. So good stuff. Yeah, Bobby, I see you saying it. That was your rant from Sunday. It was. And, Bob, the only thing I'd push back and say is, while it's a perfect thinking that if they accentuated on what he did in 22, he'd be much better. Are we sure that the league wouldn't have very simply caught up to that scheme? Because it was very simple. When you look at it from a zoomed out perspective, it was much more simple. And by the way, let me show everybody this footage right here. Okay, this is Jaylen Hurts back in 2021. I believe many of these highlights are from. I'm going to mute it because I don't want to get any copyright issues.
Rolling right. They figured that.
Look at how fast he is, though, Sills.
Hey, wait, go back. Can
right.
you go back?
Yeah, watch him roll right.
Okay. Watch him go. Watch his. Okay, so the roll right again. Let's see. Hey, coming right.
Dude, look at him
more
move,
up the middle.
He's not
running here.
Sad.
Okay? They fear him running. He had conviction in his style of play. And they've completely coached that out of him. I mean, dude, the guy that I'm watching play, why do you think he's getting worse and there's higher turnovers? This is not what he does well.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's fair,
but
you didn't answer my question. Would what he did that year work now? Still?
Yes. Well, you'd have to.
Really, you don't think Todd Bowles would look at that and laugh?
Okay. Do you think it works in Baltimore? They still do the same shit they did in 17.
Lamar Jackson's not Jalen Hurts, dude.
Jalen's a better passer.
Lamar's a better athlete.
Okay, I think they're pretty good, both of them.
Yeah, but that
style though,
that game is more built around the athleticism.
You're trying to say Jalen's not an athlete?
No, I'm saying that Lamar has held up because Jalen is not moving. He's not moving the same way.
But Lamar's doing the same shit he's done since he's been in the league. Jalen's not.
Yeah, maybe.
Why don't you find a coordinator?
I think the point of that it would work better than this is correct. But I just wonder if the league, if defensive coordinators,
they would. That rolling right thing has to end because it's too predictable now. His traits are too predictable.
Yeah, I guess people are right. I mean, Lamar's got 2 MVPs. I haven't caught up with him, but yeah, it's much different. I got to get the dual threat shirt made.
Hey, but he's more electric in open space too. But still, the guy. What do people tell me? He squats 600 fucking pounds. It's supposed to be a big deal here. I don't know. All right. Let me say this to you about Barkley and the Eagles here. If you're going to contend, if you're going to try to win that NFC East this year, there is no question. Your best football player is not A.J. Brown. Your best football player is Saquon Barkley. If you don't have him carry you to the NFC title game, Hurts is not going to carry you. He's here. I'll give it to you. He had 1,500 yards last year, and it didn't win you the East.
Okay, you're saying different things. Best player or most valuable player?
Okay, most valuable player.
Yeah.
It's not AJ.
No, man. Look at this offense without him.
Okay.
Dude,
so here's my
it's
problem.
Ugly.
But wait.
This offense is so ugly without AJ Brown.
But here's the problem.
We're hanging off the Ben Franklin sills.
But wait, here's the problem then. It's the play calling. And I'll show you why. They actually thought when they got down 21-7, that throwing to Paris Campbell and Dotson and that guy named Diana Ross was going to bring them back in the game when the only guy that was going to bring them back in the game was going to be Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
Now, get this. You would have had time of possession. You would have at least started running the ball more. Hurts could have ran the ball as well. Barkley and Goddard were going to get you back in that game. Not the fucking throwing of the football like they did. But you know what? They panicked. And they thought Paris Campbell should have more touches than, get this, Saquon Barkley. Barkley had no touches in the second half. I mean, dude, where are you thinking that? Hey, but Sills, we're behind. Well, those other guys aren't going to get you back in it. They're not good enough.
It's just dumb. It was just a dumb game plan, that whole game.
It was a dumb game plan and a dumb approach and really awful effort.
Yeah, it was. There's no doubt. I mean, you're spot on with what you said, but yeah, I mean.
Is Vic Fangio the right coordinator for the Eagles?
Anybody that runs this scheme is going to piss off Philadelphia, dude. I mean, it's just even John said at this point, he's like, this scheme, I mean, it sucks to watch. If you're an Eagle fan, especially a long-time Eagle fan like the great Bob Brown, you're pissed off watching this.
Hey, did you hear what he said? It's up to the corners to determine whether or not to get up on the ball or not.
Is that what he said today? Because I didn't catch it.
Yeah.
I was in the car. I actually didn't even.
He said it's actually, we kept, get this. He went like, oh my God, you didn't hear this? So he goes like this. One of the guys said, hey, you know, didn't you think that maybe those guys should have came up on the ball? You know what he said? Yeah, we communicated it with them. We were trying to communicate with them. And one guy fired back and went, so are they just not listening? And the guy goes, no, I got to coach better because it didn't translate to those guys. Those guys didn't move up. And they gave those free pitching catches underneath the Baker Mayfield. They made Baker Mayfield look like Tom Brady. Okay? And get this. He said that it's up to the corners.
They weren't ready for Baker Mayfield to throw the ball quick. They weren't ready for it at all. Baker Mayfield shredded that. The no holes defense, everybody, is retired.
It's Swiss cheese defense.
It's retired. I've actually changed the t-shirt design that we're working on and put a big block of cheese.
Look at fucking Flexing and his bullshit. They didn't have the guys prepared. So wait a minute. You knew that you play the same scheme and the same system each and every single week. They did it last week.
Agreeing with you.
Okay, they didn't have the guys prepared. My bad, Flexing. Okay, yeah, I got
he's saying the defense sucked balls.
All right, I got you. I got you, man. I got you, Flexing. Okay, my bad.
Wait, we need to think of a better name than Swiss cheese because Swiss cheese is cliche. Everybody uses Swiss. We need to think of
shit.
Huh?
How about dog shit?
Someone says all holes. No holes, all holes.
Yeah, all holes.
Polska the trucker checks in. Polska, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Wait, I got to bring this up because I got to say something to Kimberly. Kimberly is a great viewer here on JAKIB. And she put something in and you didn't react to it. And I really couldn't believe your reaction, your non-reaction.
From Ian Rappaport.
No, not this. She put in something earlier. Her uncle is Tony Sirico.
Oh, shit.
Paulie on fucking The Sopranos.
Paulie Walnuts?
I don't watch much. It's one of the weird quirks about me. I don't like TV. I don't really like movies. I'm not big into it. I don't know if it's my ADHD or what.
Paulie Walnuts is your
one of the only shows I ever liked in my life.
Sopranos.
I love that show. And Paulie was literally one of my favorite characters. Kimberly put this on a super chat the other day. And I'm like, Sileo, you went right over that? That's crazy. So I'm happy she's in here because I wanted to say that's incredible.
Hey, Kimberly, honest to God here. So the
rest in peace, by the way, to your uncle. He was incredible.
Kimberly. So Greg Schiano, like I told you, used to come on the program all the time. And I know him for years because he was a Miami Hurricane coach with Butch. And so James Gandolfini used to do commercials for Rutgers football. So James Gandolfini came on my program down in Tampa, and he would come on my program. Let me think. Gandolfini, Zander, was on my program probably 3 times.
Yeah, that's incredible. I would love to go and find those interviews.
Yeah, no, you know what happens when you get fired? They blow them up and they blow you out.
They blow them off. But still, something I was plugging yesterday from your great show. When you had on Pete Rose. You had one of the last interviews with Pete Rose ever.
Yep.
That was an incredible interview. So, rest in peace, obviously, to Pete Rose. So make sure you go check that out. But anyway, Kimberly, pretty incredible.
Give me walnuts.
Yeah.
Hey, so Kimberly, so James Gandolfini got David Chase. And I said, well, shit, if you put Siragusa's fat ass on as a guy, you could put my ass on. Tony Siragusa, who I know from Pitt, he was on as a bodyguard. He got blown up. I go, I don't give a shit if you kill me, shoot me in the back of the head. I'm good with it. I'm Italian. Hey, you either go feet up or feet up.
Yeah, right.
Down. It's all good. I'm ready to roll. And so he goes, okay. Sure enough, man, I go up for a screen test. I get it. I'm doing it. They didn't have the final season. And I'm like, shit. So Greg Schiano's like, you would have been on Sopranos. So every time, I don't even remember what we're going to call myself. Something like Six Fingers Luigi or some shit. I forget what the fuck it was going to be called. It's
a great show, Sills.
Oh,
you would have been great in that show. Classic Big Sills.
Oh my God. Because I was like, and I go, Siragusa got on. I was like, shit, man, you got to get me on. So yeah, no, I used to get Gandolfini on the program.
That's pretty cool though. That Kimberly's uncle is Tony Sirica, dude.
And she should know then that James Gandolfini was a really great guy, man. I mean, I enjoyed talking to him. He's like massive college football fan, Zander. Massive college football fan. He'd love to see what's going on with Greg now, with Rutgers now. So couple last ones here for you. We'll get all the super chats here in a minute.
We're going to hit all supers. Thanks, everybody. Kimberly, we'll make sure we read yours again as well. I'll get back to it.
Okay. What do they have to work on?
How about the defense?
In the bye week, give me 3 priorities.
See, as worried as I am about Jaylen Hurts, this is the reality of the offense. The offense will get better. Because A.J. Brown's going to come back, and Devontae Smith's going to come back, and Lane Johnson's going to come back. So it might mask some of our bigger problems.
It will.
But in the near term, the offense will get better. That's a 100% guarantee. That defense, who was out for that defense that they played with? Did they have any injuries? Because I keep hearing that excuse for the offense. What's the excuse for the defense? Johns keeps telling me it was a weather game. I'm like, really? Is that where we've devolved? They had a game in Tampa in late September, and they just get a pass. We got 2 passes. We got 4 games, and we got 2 passes. We got the field in Brazil and the weather in Tampa. How about you just fucking show up? You're professionals. Show up. So my concern is the defense. But I'll ask you, national champion defensive lineman, 1987, played at a high level. How do they fix the defense? Nobody was out. Nobody's coming back.
5 front. Got to outnumber them again, like you did in New Orleans.
And you're relying on that defensive secondary to step up and be better.
I think that's a better part of your team is your secondary. Your more skilled guys are back there. Okay? I mean, your linebacking core is not very good. I think you got to outnumber them again. This is a schematic thing here, man. Now that you don't have the players, you have to come up with a scheme. Unless Howie's going to go out and sign some type of Linval Joseph or find some sort of edge rusher. You're where you are, dude. This isn't going to be like you're on the island of misfit toys right now on defense. And you got to make that Christmas look good, dog.
The island of misfit toys now costs $17 million and change a year. Are you kidding me?
And $8 million in a guy what Vic Fangio says needs to tackle better and he needs to read his playbook more.
Who's that?
It's Gardner Johnson.
Yeah, Gardner Johnson, yeah. Yeah,
read your playbook and tackle better.
I get why some fans like him because he's that big in-your-face dude, and I'm not giving Sly a pass for shitting on the dude. He's a teammate, but CJ Gardner Johnson has been really bad this year. If you watch the tape, I mean, he had a couple big hits and everything, but he's been getting destroyed. And I think he's given up a touchdown in 3 or 4 games. I mean, I know he gave up the one to Mike Evans. I know he got burned. Who's the dude he got burned to in Atlanta? Was it Darnell Mooney?
Yeah.
Just absolutely shredded them. So he's been picked on a couple times. He's got to be better, no doubt. Hey,
Sue and Kimberly, I'll always do this to you. Hey, M. Reyes, go make me a fucking sandwich. How you doing? Hey, as a matter of fact, I said that to Aaron Andrews once. So I mean, it got me a little.
I remember that. They wrote the art. They wrote the people still send me those articles.
Hey, M. Reyes, go make me a No, I said you look better popping out of a cake.
The fire Sileo emails come daily with all those articles. I'm like, guys, you think I haven't read the fucking articles? Okay. You think I've never seen them before, everybody?
Hey, Aaron, you look better popping out of a cake than you do on the sidelines.
All right, Sills, tone it down.
Hit that like button, son of a bees. How you doing? All right, last one here for you. Are we being unfair to Nick?
No. Now, I don't think it's all created by Nick, but that doesn't mean that we should be soft on him. I mean, I think we should, to Angelo's point, this is where you want a media group that's not afraid to criticize because it holds the right people's feet to the fire. You know, we can all rip on Nick all we want, and I get it. It's easy to do. The dude gives us more ammo than any coach in the league, for crying out loud. He gives ammo to the rest of the league. That's why everybody hates the dude, because he's a goof.
Shit, I love him.
So he get content machine for big shows, but that doesn't give him a pass. You know, it doesn't give him a pass. But he is the lightning rod. You know, we got to be more critical of the people who, made this setup, because it's not a setup that will work, I think, on an NFL team. And it's the dudes above Nick. You know, it's not just Nick. And you know, I do think John's right. They've almost set him up as like Roger Goodell, dude. He just said every week he just takes bullet after bullet after bullet. And I'm wondering, you know, M. Reyes, I love you, man, but you're in Delulu land right now with this football team. Winning is coach, never miss close. We don't have a losing record, but you want him fired. First off, I didn't say I want him fired. I think the team has set him up for failure. M. Reyes, he's won 3 of his last 13 games. How long are you going to hold on to he won in 22? How long, M. Reyes?
M. Reyes would rather have him than Doug Peterson as your coach.
I mean, what is he, 3-10 in the last 13 games?
And Doug's 0-4 right now, and I'd still take Doug.
Yeah, Doug's about to get canned. Doug needs to move on from
Okay. How many coaches have gone to Jacksonville and turned it around?
Yeah,
that'd be 0.
It's true. It's true.
Okay. Hey,
it's
Zander,
true.
before you go, I want to. Okay, wait. I want to give you my top 10 quarterbacks. Okay.
Okay. I'm ready for him. I got time today, Big Sil.
Then we'll do the super chats.
I got time today, baby.
Number 10, James Jones. You in here? The greatness of the rookie and the best quarterback in the NFC East, Jaylen Daniels. And the first place, Washington Commanders. You're welcome. Number 9. This gives all Philadelphia Eagle people hope when I say this guy's name. Geno Smith, Seattle Seahawks.
I can already tell we've already gotten to a point in the list. Jaylen Hurts will not be on this list, everybody.
Number 8, historic last night. And a man who might be the most accomplished outside of Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff. I can't stand the guy.
18 of 18 last night. Good performance.
I know, right? Number 7, the man who has 2 most valuable player awards and might have the best team in the AFC, even though they're 2-2. Lamar Jackson.
Pretty low for Lamar.
Yeah, because you're 2-2.
Yeah, he struggled.
Number 6, the second best quarterback in the National Football League, Josh Allen.
Wait, you have him at where?
6. You can't get blown out like that. Can't get blown out like that, man. You can't get 35-10, get blown out by the Ravens like that. You just can't.
All right,
I think winning. Number 5, the man who has the pink slip on Mr. Hurts and owns him, Baker Reclamation Project Mayfield at number 5. Number 4, this dude, I couldn't have been more wrong about an Ohio State quarterback, and I'll tell you, they'll never have another one for another 200 years. CJ Stroud, Houston Texans. This is going to be I can't believe these words are going to come out of my mouth here. Number 3, from USC, Sam Darnold, Minnesota Vikings, undefeated.
He's been great. He has been great.
Number 2, man that everyone in Philly fights me on, Brock Purdy. Purdy. Number 2, San Francisco 49ers.
I ain't disputing that one. Brock Purdy's playing lights out. So for everybody who said he needs everybody around him, I don't know, man. Looks like Jalen Hurts. That's more true for Jalen than it is for Brock.
Number 1. Till you knock the king off and you beat the king. The King's Mahomes. I don't care how he's playing.
No doubt. What's his name? My man Lucius. He sent me this graphic last night on Twitter of like the comparison with Hurts and Mahomes' numbers this year. I'm like,
I saw you respond.
Dude, you think I give a fuck that Hurts' numbers are close to that dude's coming off 2 straight Super Bowls after losing his best receiver. This is not the same. This is not the same conversation.
Hey, I don't have Hurts or Rodgers.
Pretty good list.
I don't have Burrow on there. I don't have any of them.
Yeah, well, Burrow's been bad, so I thought you were fair on that. I think Rodgers has probably been top. He's been streaky a little bit.
But I think the last 2 weeks, Daniels has outplayed him. I think, I think he's outplayed him. Hey, dude, Geno's 3-1.
I think Jaden Daniels has been better than 10th overall right now. Now it's early. I get it. You're not going to grant the guy.
How about Mayfield and Darnold on that list?
I have a problem with you having Mayfield above Allen. Like Josh Allen had one bad game. He also had like a couple historic games before that. The dude was absolutely on fire.
Yeah, he beat Stiffs. Got into a game against a good team, got rolled.
That's true. All right, I like that. I like that criticism. That's fair of you. I like that criticism.
Yeah, and I love the guy. You know that. He got into a game against
even when he sucks, he still makes some throws.
I know.
Like the other night, the throw he's rolling out, he was almost out of bounds.
God,
I'm like, oh my crap, this dude is unbelievable.
God, he's so amazing.
James Jones, James, your son looks good. He says, Zander, you got anything bad to say about my son?
Hey,
he's looking good, brother.
Hey, James, you should hang with Big Sills. Big Sills picked your Commanders to win the East. How you doing? How's that looking?
James told you were crazy.
Yeah. He goes, okay, Sills. I think
that's right. You can't pick on James too much because they've beaten them to a pulp in terms of getting fired up for his team. So maybe it just doesn't. He's not ready to believe yet that he might have a solid football team.
Sileo, you really think you're gonna win the East? Yeah. I do. How you doing? All right, let's get to these super chats.
Start with my man Brian.
Okay, Jalen Hurts probably a bottom 5 QB right now. 11 turnovers, noteworthy plays, and no one else had more than 8. One Brito F none is next to William Levis, the quarterback.
Breed of none. He's saying breed of none because Jalen calls him the breed of one. Yeah, it's weird if you look at some of the comparisons. Breed of none. Breed of one is Jalen. No, audience of one was Carson Wentz's. The historic drop off in production. These two dudes are they're like ghosts. It's like a white version and a black version. It's fucking crazy.
Hey,
Jalen's going the wrong way.
Hey, Brian, it's the breed of none, not one.
Yeah, really.
Let's go to another one here, Zander. Breed of one. How you doing, kid? How you doing? Breed of none. Come on, dog. Where are we going here, man? Hit that like button, freakazoids. I appreciate you guys today. You guys were great yesterday as well. Ton of super chats. I know we missed a bunch of them.
Oh, wait. Let me. That's right. I'm wrong.
Yeah, let's get to these guys. Sills, Kelsey Cox got to be looking at this shit show. Like, we're glad
that's why they bolt. I think that's why they rolled out, man.
Sirianni's running it into the ground. Justo, absolutely. Hey, I'll tell you this. Who do they miss more, Kelsey or Cox?
Fletcher.
Yeah, Fletcher.
Kelsey was, obviously a big part of the team. That's not a knock on Kelsey at all, but those defensive linemen, man, they're undisciplined.
By the way, I agree with some people that took a shit on his outfit. He did look like he was going to like a PTA meeting the last time he was on ESPN. I mean, come on, dog. Let's go here, man. You're making $100 million with your podcast now. Come on, I mean, a little bit better of a dinner jacket. I don't even mind the guinea outfit. I like it. But hey,
was he talking about last night? I didn't even see what he wore last night.
Yeah. He had like he was going to a PTA meeting on. He had like a jacket and a t-shirt, and I was going like, this guy going to like a community outing? Come on, dog. You got $100 million. Act like it. You know what I mean? And then I have to call him out on his bullshit. It's okay, Jace. Shut up, Sills. Stop crying. Stop crying, Flex. Flex is always crying. I've been hearing from Ian Rappaport, Lombardi, and they predict Belichick will be here. I'm starting to think front office creating, what's that, a smoke screen? Getting us fans riled up so we turn on Nick. Dude, Kimberly, I don't believe that.
I don't know, man. Kimberly might be on to something.
But wait a minute, Kimberly. So you think they're going to have a guy walk into an office and have another situation where Doug Peters is telling them to go fuck themselves?
So this is the truth about the Eagles front office, though. They will do anything to make it look like it's everybody but them. So if they are thinking about moving on from Nick Sirianni right now, I would not put it past them to do everything they can to make him look like the ultimate asshole.
Oh, they will.
So when they fire him, it doesn't look so bad. That's how they think. Believe me, that's how they think.
Agreed. But what's more important to them? Control or winning?
Perception and control.
Okay, perception and control. You surrender that with Belichick, don't you?
You would, for sure.
Okay.
Unless, I don't know, they're buddy-buddy with Belichick.
Do you know the two things that you get, what Kimberly says here? You know the two things you get? You get a coach that's going to school him like he schooled Brady, and you're going to get a guy who's going to fix the defense overnight. Overnight. Because he's going to look at Bryce Huff and go, I don't think so.
Right.
Okay? He's going to look at Nolan Smith going, your special teams.
Oh, my God.
Okay?
How lovely is that to hear, Eagle fans? Our first round edge rushers, especially.
Wait. You want to hear what he had a rule? Nobody had their phones in Boston at the complex. You left your phones at the front. Nobody text. If you had a problem, you went to their face and said it. There were no social. You notice Brady didn't have any social media his entire time in New England? Hey, do you notice Peyton Manning didn't have any social media at all?
Tom had it late in his career, but you're right. I mean, they kept that. They kept a lot of that out. But
Manning never had it because you know why? He was not involved. Peyton Manning still doesn't.
Yeah, it's a different game now. It's part of what we talked about at the beginning of this interview, that it really matters, nowadays, and there's a way to play it, and Slay obviously needs to learn that as well. Next super chat, Mad Bird. Appreciate it, Mad.
Jalen needs to adapt. I thought running RPOs would help, but he's not even making the right read. He's not any longer in the RPO.
That's why I said about the Bob Brown point.
His teams aren't afraid of it because I don't think they run it consistently enough either.
Yeah, but it doesn't. It's this weird thing, Sills, where 2022 we watched Jalen. It seemed like every decision he made that year was correct. Now it's like every decision he makes is wrong. It's been a weird turn. I don't know. I can't pinpoint what it is, but great super chat, Mad Bird. Appreciate that. Jacob Dean.
Yeah, so hey, I heard Hutchinson was pissed on a play because Geno faked him out of a sack. He was so pissed. We need that.
Yeah, we got no fire like that, Jacob.
Yeah.
None.
Yep. Instead, we got a guy that's asking Micah Parsons what size shoe he has, how big his foot is. Hey, how big's your foot, Micah? Man, you're a big fella.
I don't get into those conversations.
Hey, no, I'm with you.
When I'm off the show, all right?
Hey, I thought for sure he was going to ask him, do you like a firm mattress, the soft one, soft pillows? I mean, Jesus, it was very unbecoming of a guy with a man card, or I thought.
Yeah, really.
I mean, hey, that's like, what's his name? Prince in here. Oh, he ain't in here today. Prince asking me, hey, man, hey, still so tall are you? Hey, Prince, shut up.
22 is long gone, everybody.
It is.
Howie knows he'll end up in the broom closet again. Remember Zander perception. It's true. That's why that's why Belichick will never be
Hey,
here.
Kimberly. Hey, Howie, go make me a sandwich.
Eagles are rainbow warriors. Nice, Christopher Hand. That's good.
I have no idea what that means. All right, Zander.
Wait, we got more. We got more.
Oh, we got more. Let's go.
Yeah, supers were rolling in, man. We got to get to them.
Okay, Z, you're right. When we're losing, I don't want to see you having fun on socials. I'm 28, and when I have business, I handle it. Then enjoy socials.
That sucks. And it's one thing to just have fun on socials. It's another thing to just go on there and start poking fun at your own teammate, with the enemy, with the NFC East enemy.
This guy won't even let me put my cowboy helmet up. I had to take it down. He goes,
even you knew that was bad. Something was every time you put that thing up, the internet was going. So that thing was bad. That thing had the Maloik on the show.
Wait. I think
Howie bugged that helmet.
Hey,
you might want to get that thing out of your house. Actually,
I think he did that on purpose. Hey,
go put that in the Hummer, Big Sills.
Connection here.
Go put that in the Hummer. You might want to get that out of the house.
There's something wrong with the connection, Sills. The helmet went away and it was all right. I don't know what happened.
Trucker Beans checking in. What's up, Trucker?
Sills, if we win the Super Bowl in 22, we wouldn't care about last season.
That was the first one.
I think losing killed the it's a great point because you know what? I said this about the Rams. If you have 3 shitty years of the Rams and you have 1 Super Bowl, I'll take that any day. I'll take that any day, dude.
Last one.
Any day. Brian, man, he's one pissed off dude. He's looking to face punch somebody.
Brian is ready. Brian was putting some all-time super chats.
Brian's ready to face punch somebody's ass right now, man. I mean, I'll tell you what, right now, hey, Brian, I bet you get all liquored up, man. You're one of them guys looking to face punch someone's ass after an Eagle loss.
Pissed, man.
Hey, you watch this. He's in a bar after a loss. Brian's going to beat someone's ass. Hey, we lost. You laughing over there? I don't know, Brian. I don't know, man. I'll tell you why the RPO doesn't work. Jalen never hands it off. Easy choice for the conflict guy. Hurts awoke Danny Dimes.
Brian is on one. Brian is going
Look at Brian. I'm going to fight Jalen if he don't turn this shit.
That's what he put that in earlier. It was classic. Brian is on fire.
Brian's like this, man. If you don't turn this shit around, I'm going to fight you.
Brian's liquored up and he's hating the team. M. Reyes is liquored up too, except he's still got 14-3. M. Reyes is holding out hope.
Hey,
it's the tale of 2 Eagle fans.
Watch this. Here's my impression of Brian. I'm going to fight that motherfucker, man. Hold on. Hey, Brian, watch me here.
That's the perfect impression. I'm a Philly fan. I get it. I believe it.
I'm going to fight that motherfucker. If he don't turn this shit around, I'll swear to you, I'm going to fight that motherfucker.
Oh, man. It's true, Big Stills.
Oh, man.
Brian knows it. Brian's like, shit, man. They got me nailed down. It's perfect. They got me down to a science right now.
Very good stuff. Please hit the like button. We appreciate it. Where are we in that bitch right now, man? Guys,
189. They're not happy with the commentary today. And we just lost one to 188. Somebody has rescinded the like. Might have been M. Reyes.
Hey, man, your team. Okay.
Look at Akbar. Akbar, dude. Akbar is going to be a star. I'm telling you now.
Hey, Akbar goes, Sills, you've been hanging with the Whoa, wait a minute, Akbar. Let me hook you up on something. Italian guys ain't white. Okay? Italian guys ain't white guys. Just remember that. Hey, why does it look like a I'm gonna fight that motherfucker, man. If that motherfucker don't get those turnovers turned around, I'm gonna whip his ass, and then I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a shot of whiskey. That motherfucker better get it done, or I'll show you. I'm gonna be in his ass, and I'm gonna be on Zander's show going, I told you I kicked his ass. I'm gonna wait outside the bus.
Akbar is the best part of the post-game show for me right now. Every time I go, I'm waiting for Akbar. I'm like, what's Akbar gonna tell me today? Because he came on spitting fire. Right from a Philly, where I think he lives in Philly. He must live in Philly. He sounds to me, he's a MO Philly guy. I love talking to Akbar. And by the way, Akbar, your segment blew up this week, dude. You're a star. So great stuff from Akbar.
You guys are crazy great. Zander, great stuff. By the way, when we come back out of the timeout, my top 10 NFL teams, can't think the Eagles are on it. Maybe, I don't know. And also the MVP, which I have a vote. And I could tell you who's not on that fucking list.
I need a bum juice shirt. So did you hear this interview?
No.
Dude, you need to hear. I need to send you this interview tonight so you can hear Akbar come in. He sounds like the Akbar version of Big Sills. He comes on, he goes, bum juice. That's what Jaylen Hurts is, bum juice. And I'm sitting there rolling, laughing, man. Akbar was on fire.
Hey, what's
I need
this
a t-shirt made.
What's this supposed to imply, Bob? What are you saying? That the Southern Times, because it's the most conquered continent on the planet.
You know, on my
Because the
mother's
folks
side,
came in from Africa.
my grandparents are 100% Italian. They were from Parma.
Yeah, because well, you always remember, like Jerome Brown said about Big Sills, white guys don't run that fast. White guys don't run that fast.
Wait, let me answer Carlos. Let me answer Carlos
today.
real quick. Carlos is my boy. He says, "Hey, Dan and Zan, what do y'all think about my Volunteers this year? Are we contenders? And do y'all like the QB? They're a solid team, Carlos. I'll tell you this, though, on the way out, Carlos. Roll Tide, baby. And that's for Kimberly, too, who keeps tweeting at me in her Georgia outfit. We whooped up on Georgia this weekend, Kimberly. So
big
Roll Tide, Carlos.
Hey, that was a big win for that coach, man.
Who? For Kalen, yeah, for DeBoer,
yeah, that was a big win for them.
Still, I don't know, man. Look, I know he won. It's great he won, and Alabama Nation's drinking the Kool-Aid from him. I'm not there yet. I still look at him. I listen to some of his interviews, and I'm just like, I don't see it yet. I hope he can win, but I'm so used to Nick Saban, but hey, I don't know yet. But look, you're right. That's a signature win for a first-year coach in an SEC school.
Hey, Zander, who has a tougher fan base, Alabama Crimson Tide folks or the Eagles?
Eagles. Stop.
Oh, yeah. They poison people down in Alabama. They killed the goddamn tree. The Auburn guy. The Auburn guy, the damn tree got killed down there when Alabama guy.
I remember that big old.
They killed that 200-year-old tree in the middle of the quad there in Auburn.
Oh my God! I remember
you beat my goddamn.
Nah, you beat my God. Eagles. I really mean Eagles. Eagles Nation they're the best fans in sports. I mean, we talked to literally the greatest, and I'm not just talking about Philly fans.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Eagles fans. People who are Eagles fans truly bleed green, and that's why they care so much, and that's why our shows, do so well, because everybody really, cares and, puts great takes in and gives a shit. Like the Sixers, they wouldn't be fun to cover. The Sixers wouldn't be fun to cover. The Phillies are fun at times, but not. We used to be a baseball town.
The only other team that I would love to cover in Philly would be the Flyers.
I would love to. At times,
you
would love to cover the Phillies. I didn't grow up a Flyers fan at all. Because I played hockey when I was a kid, and my favorite goalie was Martin Brodeur, and he was a Devil, obviously.
Yeah,
and he was my favorite. I would love to find a picture of me playing as a kid. I had the full Brodeur.
Dude, Bernie Perrant follows me on Twitter.
Painted mask. Actually, if you want to see, I got my custom goalie helmet right there from high school. It's really dope.
Hey, I have Bernie Perrant that follows me, and like I told you, Ed Schneider used to, every time that the Flyers would come down to Tampa, he'd come on my program. Bobby Clark would come on, and fuck Bobby Clark. I don't think he really liked the fact that I liked Lindros. I liked Lindros a lot.
Look at the way he's calling me a turncoat. I love
it. Why? Because you're a Devil fan?
I'm not a Devil fan. I was a Brodeur fan, but. No, I grew up. So I grew up.
Brodeur was great, but he wasn't better than Wah.
Yes, he was. Stop.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't better than Hasek either.
It's different era.
Hasek.
Wait, I want to show the mask. Let me show my
mask. Hasek and Wah. Then Brodeur. By the way,
people will like the mask. It's in a nice box.
You know what? I got a Scott Stevens puck back here somewhere. I love Scott Stevens. Bobby Clark hated Eric Lindros.
Look at the. Oh, I got to turn off my virtual background. Let me turn that off to none, and let me make myself full screen. This is the Zander Krause show now. Ain't no big sills in here anymore. Let me show this sucker. Let me show this badass off. Oh, you can't see it. So
wow!
On the front. I got the SJP. That's where I played. I got the big gold cross on the top.
That's dope, dude. Who did that for you?
This is so dope.
Dude, who did that for you?
Got the Philly skyline on there. You see that?
Who did that for you?
I had a custom painter. Frank Drummond did it. His name is. But it says Zan on the front. This is dope.
That is so great.
I love this mask. I love this. It's right in my office. I keep it right there.
That is so great.
Oh, so dope.
Zander. I love that, man.
Really dope.
Holy cow, man. I love that. Hey, I've got so many pucks. I got so many pucks around here. I just found one right. I got another one somewhere too. But Xander, check this out. So get this puck. This is Dave Anderchuk.
Yeah, great stuff right there. What team was that? 2001? Was that like Vinny LeCavalier?
Yeah, and Marty St. Louis.
Yeah,
this is Tortorella's team.
Yeah,
this is John Tortorella's.
Yep. I met Torts. I'm not gonna tell you. Yeah, I'm not. Torts is dope. Torts is a dope dude. I met him.
You should have told him, man. Me and him are boys.
Yeah, I would have if I knew you were boys with him, because I would have loved to show.
Yeah, no, man. Me and John Tortorella, absolutely dear friends, and I get him very much. I'm a very big fan of John Tortorella. Xander, absolutely great stuff, dude. I mean, tomorrow we're gonna have Merrill Reese on. We're gonna have remember Doc Walker, part of the Washington Commander broadcast team. He also has 3 Super Bowl rings. We'll talk. Hey, James Jones, Doc Walker's coming on tomorrow. The best team.
I love Doc Walker.
Yeah.
I love when you interview Doc Walker. That dude is so good.
And by the way,
guy, right?
Yep, best team in the NFC East will be on.
And Reyes, if I was smart enough to go to Notre Dame, I probably would have went there, but I would never have been smart enough to go there. It's funny because my brother's like the genius of the family, and I sit here and talk about sports with you guys.
So this guy had me go there. God, what was his name? He was an awful coach. Jerry something. And he had me go there, and they recruited me to play linebacker. So I go there. I went to Catholic high school, obviously. And he goes, jump up and touch the rim. Now, I could back in the day, I could dunk a Nerf ball. I couldn't dunk a basketball, but I could dunk a Nerf ball. And I'm sitting there going like this. And I go like this, and I go, I'm not fucking jumping up there for this. And he goes, and then plus he goes, well, when do you think you'll play here at Notre Dame? I go, right away. He goes, well, most people when they come here don't play. Oh, Jerry Fouts, that's his name. And he goes like this. He goes, well, you won't play probably until you're a senior. And I went, so I go to Miami. We beat them 58-7. His last game, I'm running off the field going, hey, motherfucker, you told me I wasn't going to play. Well, here I am starting. How you doing? And Aaron Parsegian and all them guys were so mad at us because we had worked them over. I told you a little bit of this. I got home to my nuns. How could you beat Notre Dame? I go, well, touchdown, Jesus took a knee. I mean, hey, that guy looked meaning. I go, hey, he looks over at me. He turned away, and I go, you told me I wasn't going to play. I just kicked your fucking ass up and down the field for 60 minutes. Great stuff. You think because I talk shit now that I wasn't talking shit? I was talking more shit back then. Your boy Mike Messinelli. Is it Messinelli? It's probably Messinelli. Wrote a book about us, me and Jerome, how much of an assholes we were. Anyway, yeah. Xander, great stuff, bro. Tomorrow, Birds 365. Absolutely sensational. Hit the like button. Thank you, Xander.
Appreciate it, Big Sales. Appreciate everybody in the chat. And then also a big shout out to, real quick, I just want to do this for our new members, man. Sox becomes a member today. You guys have been killing it, man. Members are one of the best ways to support us. Appreciate to 2 new members in Eagles 1971. Thank you both for becoming a member, and all you guys for supporting. Big Sales, I'm going to drop off. I think you got a super chat we missed, so I want you to hit it. All right, brother?
You got it, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much here, man. Make sure we get to that super chat there, man. Here we go. What quarterbacks do you guys think could succeed tomorrow